Merhabalar, Piccadilly Estates'in Battersea Power Station'daki ofisindeyiz. Tekrar merhabalar, Sinan hoş geldin.
Teşekkürler.
Piccadilly Estates kurucusu Sinan Düztaş, Savills'ten Shyam'la beraberiz. Shyam, welcome. Yine piyasalarla ilgili bilgilendirici konuları konuşacağız. İngiltere piyasasından konuşacağız ama bugün yabancı konumuz olduğu için hem onunla başlamak istiyorum hem de İngilizceye döneceğiz.
Harika olur.
Let's go more into detail of London real estate market. What's the overall market view from Savills'in now? And which areas are growing? Are there new developments? Or you mentioned about international buyers. I mean, we see lots of Turkish, but do you see other nationalities? So what's your overall view about the London real estate market?
So I think our outlook for the London real estate market is over the next 5 years, we're forecasting about 17% growth in the market, which is strong. And that's largely driven by lower mortgage rates. I think that feeds into the fact that we're already seeing some price growth coming back into London. In terms of how the market is ready for international buyers. So because I said that the market is quite international, you can expect that while there's still some strong domestic activity, the international buyers tend to look for opportunities that are often in developments looking to come onto the pipeline. So a lot of the regeneration that I'm talking to you about is happening across various parts of London. One is the Battersea power station in the Wandsworth area. That is a phenomenal success story that shows how investment in the long term produces significant interest from local buyers as well as international buyers. Other examples are the King's Cross station area. That is driven by investment in infrastructure in the form of HS2 that will eventually bring a new high-speed rail connection to the terminus of that area. There is so much investment happening in that area, billions and billions of pounds going into improving the urban environment. It's also leading to a lot of new build schemes coming into the market. So what I mean by new build? Well, new build offers people an opportunity to access hotel-style amenities. It offers them low maintenance. It offers them a lock-up-and-leave style lifestyle that gives them the opportunity to engage with these new and upcoming areas at a generally great option, both in price as well as connectivity to a lot of the new areas that are up and coming. It also allows people to access parts of London that were previously locked out to people because it was just too expensive or it was quite low density.
Yeah, and also I'd like you to ask both because I'm here in London. So when you walk around, you see always the old buildings, history, which is nice. But in some areas, I think they allow to rebuild again, or it's called regeneration, so that people can buy new areas. How does it go in?
I'll start maybe then, Shyam. I think based on my observations and knowledge, London's buildings like Victorian, Edwardian, etc., which are the kind of the houses, etc., made by 100+ years ago, there are usually kind of strict protections about the way you can extend them, etc. However, there are some regeneration areas like Shyam said, Battersea or East London. There are still quite a lot of factories, old factories, gas storage kind of lands that's currently being regenerated. However, in central London, like Zone 1, Zone 2, there's only limited spaces, to be honest. And I think that's one of the reasons probably why and how London could protect its value, the property value, because there is a scarcity of land. If you remember, if you compare the pictures of Chelsea from the sky 20 years ago, probably nothing much changed.
Yeah,
nothing's done. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I think, central London has a very different vibe to it than the other parts of London that are regenerating. And I think you're right. There's a lot of heritage protection that goes into keeping the value that people place on certain areas protected. And it gives London that unique dynamic between the new and the old. And I think how that comes to coexist gives people the opportunity to decide if they want to live in a Victorian era, flat or house versus a shiny new build in a place that has all the different features that I mentioned earlier. But I think to bring this point home, I think it's really important for buyers when they're thinking about London to ask themselves, are they here for a lifestyle and the opportunity to raise their family and live in a dynamic, bustling urban environment, or are they here to kind of enjoy the opportunity to make yield and to derive value from their property and market investments?
Yeah, I was going to ask the question, so let me get it more detailed, because some clients are asking for buying for rent yield, some of them for investment, some of them by buying for their children. So can you tell us the type of clients, and according to this type of clients, how should their investment decision should change?
Okay. So I think normally, average buyer asks for everything, to start with. Of course, you can't get everything, you need to make some choices. If you want a central location like Chelsea, Sloane Square, Belgravia, etc., you're buying prime, super prime land in London, a property. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shyam, but in terms of capital gains potential, it is, and also rental gains, it will be slightly lower than the East London, West London, something outside of central London, if you like. And it's same in Turkey. You wouldn't buy a property in Etiler, which is kind of Belgravia of Istanbul, to make a big capital gains or rental income. I think the same dynamics work here. It just really, I think we kind of try to understand people's real need. If it is for their kids to study, a place to stay while they study, so we know that safety is important, transportation is important, then we looked into budget, and we offer them options. You can get in Battersea, 1 bedroom for 800, 900K versus, you could buy similar size 1 bedroom in East London for half price and probably for a higher yield. It's just, I guess, people's expectation, but you won't get everything for sure.
Yes. I would mirror those thoughts, Sinan. I think you're right. So different parts of London offer a different profile of return. Let's start off with capital appreciation. So if you're buying in central London, in prime central London, you're buying more for the signal and the lifestyle that comes with that. If you're buying in an up-and-coming regeneration area, then you're looking probably at a better yield because you're able to buy at a slightly better price, and that allows people to kind of reflect back on all those connectivity improvements that are making people's lives easier and better. And to frame this in a different way, I guess, we expect that the capital values of the London market to, like I said, go up over the next 5 years, and every year we'll see some growth. In terms of rents, we see rents normalizing a bit more. The reason for that is that over the last few years, rents skyrocketed as a result of the COVID pressures. Now, supply and demand is kind of coming back into balance. While we still see that there is still some supply issues, that'll keep rental growth at a bit more of a normalized level, and we think that will support yields in the long term. But generally, because London is quite a mature market, yields are a lot more mature and a lot more stable rather than some of the other cities around the world.
Looked at one more thing, because Battersea is a really, I think, very good example of a kind of central London regeneration example. 6-7 years ago, when people, the few projects came to market here, obviously there was nothing here. And so some people took the risk and invested. Now probably their investments grown up by 40 to 50%, depending on what they bought, when they bought. So I think the opportunity we have here is with Savill's, new projects like 100 Kensington or South Bend projects and various other projects. We give people opportunity to invest at the very beginning, where the prices are low, so you could make gain with that kind of investments. So it's important to know when to invest, and if you really invest in general at the very beginning, you will probably be make more money on this investment.
Yeah, you're right. And timing is really important, I think, because right now it's the precipice of that next phase of growth, right? And if you can access those trending mortgage rates, and you can access the fact that a US dollar investor is able to get great value in prime central London right now. It's these combination of factors that give people the opportunity to make long-term gains. In the last 20 years, the London property prices have increased 122%, and that's far greater than UK property prices. So that should give people that confidence that long-term London is a great place to buy and invest.